Hey everyone, I'm Carola Salazar. I'm an anthropologist from Chile, and I'm so sorry that I couldn't be there today in person. Actually, I'm recording this from Concepcion, Chile, in a very sunny day. Today I'm going to talk about Estar tranquilo, Emic models of well-being in later life in Curicó, Chile. So right now you are seeing in the screen a QR code at the end. I'm going to use this pointer to show. Okay, so right here. So if you scan that QR code, you will find also this. This is the abstract for the whole presentation, okay? I think that you will also have access this in paper, but if you prefer to read from your computer or your cell phone, you can use it. So this is the small abstract of the whole presentation. And also right now you are seeing my email. So if you have any questions or any comments regarding this presentation, I will be more than happy to answer them. Okay, so I speak English and Spanish. So if you speak Spanish, you can just pueden escribirme en español and it will be fine. Okay. So I'm going to turn off my camera a little bit so you won't see the whole presentation with my face on it. But I just wanted to say that right now you are seeing a picture and you will see a lot of pictures during this presentation. And I just wanted to know that I have the people's authorization to use them. There were the people that I interviewed during this process, during the fieldwork, and they're more than happy to know that people from other countries are actually seeing their pictures. So I just wanted to say that up front. Okay, so right now I'm going to turn off my camera and I'm going to address what I'm going to talk today. I'm going to address 4 topics: Emic perspective, older age in Chile, the data, and finally the conclusions. Okay, so regarding this Emic perspective, the Emic perspective is an insider's perspective, right? And this means that we are considering things like beliefs, values, and practice of a particular culture. And why it's important? Because that helps us to understand the cultural meaning and significance of a particular behavior or practice. And then you're seeing one of the pictures that I took from the participants. So in this picture, I'm with 2 older adults, and I wanted to show this picture in order to discuss about reflexivity. Reflexivity, right, is something that we use in anthropology to talk about the person that we are and how that kind of affects in a positive or negative way in our studies, in particularly in this case during the fieldwork. The thing is that I did this research in Curicó. Curicó is a city in which I was born and raised, and I conducted these interviews in Spanish. My native language actually is Spanish. So I didn't have any problems with that. The thing is that I don't have the same knowledge of older adults in the sense that we have this very huge age gap. So sometimes when I was doing the field work, people would say like, you get it, right? And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't get it because I'm way younger. So I didn't get some ideas. Okay. So I just wanted to say that from the beginning. And regarding older age in Chile, the thing is that in Chile, older adults are people considered aged 60 and above. Okay. So if we consider that people here in Chile, about 18% of the population are aged 60 and over, and most of them are women. So we also have in Chile this feminine phase of aging. That means that most of the aged people are actually women. And particularly in Latin America, Chile has the second highest level of population aging. Okay, so we are pretty far in that. The thing is that in Chile, most of their adults live in their own homes. However, there is a group that is actually living in some collective residence or institutions. But the problem is that we don't have a current estimation at a national level of how many people actually live in those residences, how many older adults. So the only number that I can give you right now for reference is that 20 years ago, and I'm so sorry for this, I'm really sorry, it was 4%. So I'm sorry that I don't have a more current number, but that's the estimate that we have right now in Chile regarding that topic. So Regarding data, I was just saying at the beginning that I conducted my research in Curicó. Curicó means muddy waters in Mapudungun. Mapudungun is an indigenous language from the First Nations, particularly from the Mapuche. The Mapuche people used to live here in Chile and also in Argentina, in what we right now know actually as Argentina. So the population in 2023, it was 115,000 inhabitants. And regarding the population aged 60 and over, you can see that's 18%. So that's pretty similar to the national average. And also, Curicó is located in the Central Valley. So that's why you see in this beautiful picture here that we are surrounded by this valley. And also, I wanted to show you a few pictures of the people and the places in which I conducted this research. So I worked with two groups. The first one were residents from a long-term care center. They are known in Chile for its acronym that it's LEAM. That's the word that you're seeing right here. So here you can see the building in which they were living. Also, here are the residents and the staff members in an activity. And also this picture that I really love that shows two people that were getting married. So actually, these were two residents that met in the center and got married. So I really like this because it showed this different ways of living living aging and how you can be actually very happy and maybe meet the love of your life at your 80s. It's like, and it's fine. So also regarding the other group were people that were living in their own homes, but they were all participants from a club, from clubs for older adults, and they meet once or twice a month depending on the month in this cabin, and they will engage on different activities. For instance, all these pictures that you see up here, these are from a therapy that is called laughter therapy. That's mean that they use a lot of exercises and activities to just laugh. And they really enjoy that. And they look so happy in these pictures that I really wanted to show that. So regarding the methods, so I just say that I was working with two groups. So group one were the residents from these long-term care centers, and the other group were club members. So in each group, there were 12 participants, and both groups share some socioeconomic background. So they have like a similar income, similar health status, etc. So this research is part of a larger research, and I just wanted to share this question that is the one that I'm using right now, that it was what contributes to your well-being in older age. So for answering that question, I did 24 life stories. They were like with 3 1-hour sessions for each participant, and also I conducted participant observation during 8 months. So when I ask people like, how are you doing during your older age regarding well-being, they will answer that they both groups use the same expression, that is to be peaceful, and in Spanish, estar tranquilo or estar tranquila. But the thing is that for each group, it had a different meaning, and that's why I wanted to show you right now. So regarding LEAM residents, that's the people that were living in a collective residence, they say that estar tranquilo meant that you were able to keep good relationships with fellow residents and staff members. And I have this quote from one of the participants that I really like because I think it really shows the feeling of this of living in this residence. She said, "I don't know how much time I have left. I must be able to enjoy this new life." So emphasis in that new life, because these are people that weren't living before in a long-term care center, but they are actually right now, they want to live well. So they want to being able to keep these good relationships. And because these centers provide shelter, food, and medical care, they do not have to like worry about those things. Instead, if we take a look to the club members, they were trying to, for them, estar tranquilo meant that they were able to spend quality time with their adult children and extended family. They want also to avoid conflict, but they do have this kind of pressure to keeping autonomy. And this is pretty common in Chile. If you ask to any person like over 50, and they will say that they don't want to be a burden. In Spanish, that is, no quiero ser una carga. So they say that because they don't want to be a burden for their adult children. And that is pretty common to hear here in Chile. So regarding the conclusions, the thing is that when we are talking about Emic models, that means that we are trying to look this whole thing, particularly in this time it was well-being. You're trying to see that from the actor's perspective, right? In this case, from the older adults. The thing is that these two groups, they use the same expression and they share language, they share the cultural background, etc. But this meaning, although you are using this very, very small group of 12 older adults in each group, so that's 24 in total, they share the same expression, that is estar tranquilo, but the thing is that the meaning is very, very different for each group. But the thing is that although maybe we can say that this, if I go back here, for club members, they have this kind of pressure to keep autonomy. Even if you consider that, they say that they are doing well. And why these two groups are doing well in older age is because they adapted to this gain of losses of inherent to old age. So they assume that they have losses, but also they have a lot of gains, even in a different residential setting. For instance, that is the case for the older adults that were living in the LEAM. So here again is, and I'm going to show you my face again. Here it is. Okay, so thank you very much for listening to this presentation. You have my contact there. You can scan the QR code also. And finally, thank you very much for this instance. I hope you're having a great time and see you soon. So thank you very much. Ciao.